What a spectacular view. That's right, we're in Hobart. I've stepped out of my office into someone else's. Well, good morning. Although, as you can probably see and hear, it's raining. So I didn't get to go out and do any photography on day 2. And my intentions on this trip are to do landscape photography. I'm a wildlife photographer, so it won't be easy. Yeah, I want to get spectacular shots. I'm not interested in a snapshot of a place that's been done a million times. I want something outstanding. Okay, well, I'm out here in Strawn trying to do a bit of photography and talk to the camera, and I'm getting interrupted with tourists all wanting to take a shot of this little pier that I've got here. So yeah, it's been awesome waiting for them to go, running out of good light. I'm hoping at the minute that I can get some colour out of this sky. It has been raining all day and finally I get a few hours to go and do a bit of photography, and I've got people walking past me again. But I managed to go out and do a bit this afternoon, walk through this nice little forest, get relaxed, get away from all the touristy shit, and get up to a waterfall. And at the end, of course, full of tourists. And I can't talk in front of people when I'm in public like this. It's very embarrassing. But anyway, I'll try to keep going. Tomorrow heading off to Cradle Mountain. Fingers crossed the weather's going to be alright, but we get what we're given, and if it is raining and not all that well, maybe something will happen for me. But my challenge is for my Tassie adventure. Caught again. Alright, take 2. Now it's getting windy. People just keep coming behind me. It's, yeah. I need to find somewhere quiet. I've only got tonight here, and in the morning I might be able to come back out and do a little bit, see how I go. Maybe I'll find another spot because this place is just too crowded. Now my intentions are to do landscape photography, but with a twist, and that twist is hopefully having an animal in the shot, because I'm a wildlife photographer. 99% of my photography is wildlife, so I want a nice landscape shot with an animal in it. Now, it doesn't have to be a bird, it doesn't have to be a native animal, it can be sheep, you know, so a rural scene as well. That is what I'm looking for. Trying to improve myself by opening up my eyes more, because like I said, I'm a wildlife photographer. I'm tuned into that, highly tuned into wildlife. Well, I didn't get anything exciting tonight. Didn't put on a big show for me with some colour, and that's what this scene needed, because it's a little on the boring side. Ah, my fingers are freezing. It's day 4. Yesterday rained right through the day. It was bloody horrible. Couldn't get out and do any photographing at all. So we packed up from Strawn and headed over to Cradle Mountain. And it's freezing and it's horrible up here. It really is. It just rained all yesterday afternoon. I shot up to what's called Dove Lake. We had a little walk around there. I took a couple of snapshots. It was hard to do anything because the rain had just hit in the lens. So yeah, it was just a quick look and see what's happening. Hopefully this morning I could go out for a walk. It was raining and it sucked me in because we packed up and started driving down the road. That's all cleared, and then I've seen this beautiful little spot here. And I've set up for a shot here as the sun's coming out, like right now, Exposure's good. Take a shot. I've got a tree out here that's on a rock. I've got this creek bed leading around, but it's a dry creek bed. It's got all nice rocks and stuff in it. So I thought I'd take a shot. Haven't got any animals, there's no birds or anything around to fulfill this little adventure of mine of practicing doing landscape shots. But anyway, wildlife photographer versus landscaping. That's my first real effort at opening my eyes and trying to find something that looks great. Leaving Cradle Mountain area now, and we're toddling off to Arthur River, and I'll tell you about something I saw on day 2 which we couldn't stop anywhere to take a photograph of, something that was just awesome. Change of plans in where we're staying tonight. I said we're staying at Arthur's River, but decided to take a detour into Stanley. Now Stanley is well known for a little outcrop at the end of the point, which apparently looks like a nut. But what happened on our second day in Tasmania, driving from a caravan park, about an hour and a half's drive out of Hobart, driving to Strawn. Now it's up in the high country there, weaving your way up and up and up into the snow areas. Beautiful countryside. We were just enjoying looking at how all the different colours and of the trees and the native grasses and that around the place. And all of a sudden come across this absolutely spectacular composition, and the colours were just unbelievable. Now if you haven't been to Australia before, our colour palette here are pastel colours. They're not in your face. As you can see around here, different shades of greens, very light yellows. Then yeah, that's just what it's like here everywhere you go. Forests just have slight tones, lighter and or darker of greens. That's the way it goes. So if you go out into the Australian desert, this is how I'm going to try and explain it a little bit. When you go into the Australian desert, we have greeny blues. They're very dull, they're not bright and in your face. Light greens and things like that. But our deserts, a lot of them have a very orangey, rusty coloured sand. Now that makes a greeny blue absolutely pop with an explosion of colour. Just amazing how it does that. And greens, all types of greens just look spectacular in a desert scene like that. And what I saw was an open paddock with a forest on either side of it, running down into the distance. Then you see this beautiful mountain range in the background with clouds wafting over it. And the grasses, like we have around here, the native grasses, they were bright, burnt, rusty looking orange. It was just spectacular. And all these other colours of the forest that was on the sides and other little shrubs, some were that greeny blue, they just burst, and the textures that popped out at you and the colours was just unbelievable. And this is really a fisherman's story. The one that got away. It was this big. Oh, hang on a minute. No, it was this big. It was just an unbelievable scene that I was looking at in those split seconds that we're driving along this road. There's nowhere to park on either side of the road. It's a skinny, narrow road, deep gutters on each side. You can't pull over anywhere. It was hammering down with rain and gale force winds. It was just horrendous conditions, which we've had for a few days since. It just hadn't stopped. And oh man, that place is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Whew, that was a steep climb. Now I've come up to the top of the nut. Yeah, so it's a nut, climbing a nut. I can hear you. And I've got a whole heap of women coming. So yeah, time to sign off before these tourists turn up. Alright, tourists are gone. A bit windy on the microphone too now, it's really picking up. Oh man, I just can't get away from bloody tourists. Can't get a straight run. But anyways, to finish off tonight, I'm going to do a bit of time-lapse photography of what works out of the sun dropping down. See if I get any colour out of the sky. Clouds are dropping away. There's heaps of them before, now they're dropping off. It's the end of day 5. Sun's going down, so I better get this done before it disappears on me. Now we've been driving for 8 hours today, so I'm buggered. So if I stuff this up, oh well, there's always tomorrow to fix it up, isn't it? Last night I was talking to you about being on the nut in Strawn, took some photographs, and I actually got one before the sun went down that fills my brief, and that is a tree by itself with a bit of landscape in the background, which is a mountain range, and a bird on a branch. So that was my brief, to have an animal in a landscape scene. Now it's not fantastic. We'll keep building on this until we get this spectacular photograph, but you know, it's practicing, learning. I've got the photos up so I don't forget what I'm talking about. Alright, so I moved on just before nightfall. I'd got myself set up to do the sun going down, a bit of time lapse as well as taking photographs. Well, an hour before the sun went down, the clouds disappeared, so there was no real sunset, but I took some anyway. While I was waiting for the last drop of the sun before it kissed the ocean, I noticed to my left the waves were coming in, and then they're just little gentle ones. So I got the zoom lens on and zoomed in on it, and it looks stunning. I'm not sure how it's going to come out once I put it on the computer. We all know what DSLR monitors always lie, don't they? They always look fantastic, and in the end they're not. So anyway, I zoomed in on this piece of art. It just looked fantastic. And it filled my brief as well, because it was a landscape shot with birds. They were on the beach. The tide was out a bit, and yeah, there's just some awesome textures and stuff in that, the way the light's hitting the waves, so it was great. Alright, so we'll move on from that one. Bit of artwork. Got some ones of the sun setting. Oh, now there was a cliff to my right with a tree on it, and the light was hitting it beautifully. The rocks looked fantastic. It was, oh, fantastic. If you block out the background, which was houses and that, man. Right, so we moved on to Arthur's River. Really nice colours in rocks and stuff there. And I mucked around, and let's have a look. I bought some rings, and I've got a dog coming up to say hello here. I bought some adapter rings for my filter slide, and it came with these crappy filters here somewhere. There they are. And like, this set was 20 bucks or something, so you're not going to get much at filters. I was going to throw them out, but I thought, no, I'll bring them with me. because the lens that I have here, it's I don't have my 400 ND filter with me for really slow shutter speeds. So I thought I'd take these with me, maybe they might work, I don't know. I took these photographs and then I decided I want the water was pulling out, I wanted to really slow it down. Get it all creamy looking and look beautiful. So I pulled these filters out, putting them on, and all of a sudden everything's going red. So yeah, they're not normal ND filters, they're coloured bloody ones which you can't tell. Slow things down, but it looks crap. Well, it's day 6 and I'm at a new destination. I spent quite a few hours last night and this morning looking for the perfect site to get away from all the tourists. And we just found something spectacular. It's just awesome. I'm loving it. I'm just walking up through the track to get to the beach and I've come across something that might work out. Particularly sure, but it looks really nice, a really nice composition. As you can see behind me, what a spectacular view. Great composition, taken some shots, and I'm thinking they're going to be pretty good. Just absolutely spectacular. And now the rain's starting to come down again. I was hoping that it would break a lot more and I'd get a shaft of light, but it's gone. Good on you, Tasmania. Anyway, something happened on my YouTube channel a little while ago that took me on a little bit of a journey to somewhere where I wasn't expecting to end up. Now I had a look at a few other YouTube creators just about this particular thing that happened to me, so I thought I'd go and adventure and have a look at theirs, see whether they'd come across it before, whatever. I came across a young man called Thomas Heaton. Now he's a landscape photographer in the UK. I started watching some of your videos, Thomas, and I was a little bit shocked on how you quickly dismissed and actually got quite agitated and a little angry about animals like birds being in your scene. Now I am out doing this challenge of doing landscapes with wildlife in it to improve myself. So what I'm going to ask of you, if you're up to the challenge, I want you to turn it around and start putting some wildlife in your scenes. Because I think you missed some great opportunities there where you didn't want the water spoilt by ripples in it from the ducks and swans that were in your scene. So yes, that's my challenge. So if you take it up, I'd love to see your results. It's going to help you open your eyes a bit more too, I'd say, Thomas, like it's doing for me, doing the opposite of what I do. Bloody typical, isn't it? I just walked away because it was pissing down with rain. And now I've got to run back 500 metres. There's a beautiful shaft of light come onto my scene. Okay, there's another challenge now for my subscribers and anyone else that's watching, and that is, I want you to open your eyes a bit as well to see how you actually see the world. What makes you different to everybody else when you look at something? What are you looking at? What is it that grabs you? Now, I'll give you some examples on this with my family. Now, me, it's shapes. When I look at something, I see shapes. Shape of nature, the shapes in what man makes as well. And the human form. I see all the shapes. I know how many different types of shapes there are of the faces and all this. It's just something in me, and I'd love for you to explore this as well. Now, my wife is a counter. So if I look at a building and I see the shape of the building, the shape of the windows, shape of the door, everything like that, she, in those split seconds that I've done that, she's counted every door, she's counted every window, and anything else that's around the building to be counted. That's what she's done. That's how she sees the world, all in numbers. Now, my second eldest daughter, it's colour. But it's not colour that draws, the colour that will draw you into an image. It's the shades of colours and how they work together, or how they could work together. So really, she should be doing like interior decorating or something like that. And I think she's heading down that trail. My youngest daughter, it's all about patterns, especially patterns in nature. That's what grabs her when she first looks at anything. She sees the pattern in everything. So if she's looking at rocks like that, she'll see the pattern of all the black dots that are there and how they link up to each other. So this is my challenge for you. I want you to go outside, close your eyes, maybe for a minute or so, clear your mind, and then open them. What is it that grabs you? Now, don't go and say colour. Colour is what I see. Look, I want you to go beyond that, because normally colour draws your attention to something. So don't go and think that that's what it is. This could take quite some time. It could take months, maybe even a year, before you really realise what it is that you see differently than everybody else. What grabs you? All right, up for the challenge as well. When you find out what it is, leave a comment either on my YouTube channel or on this video down below. Write something. Tell me all about it. I'd love to hear from you. Right, so I'm going to just start covering all the rest of my gear up. It's getting a little heavier, but I'm still going to hang around and see if I can get another shot. Catch ya. I'd like to thank Tasmania for giving me a snippet of what it's like here. This is day 7, and for the next couple of days it's going to hammer down with rain. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to do a closing for this video. And say cheers to Tasmania for what it's given me, even though it held everything in really tight. Wasn't going to give up much of its secrets. It's been raining 80% of the time, but what I've been able to take photographs of and go and have an exploration of different places, it's been fantastic. So cheers Tasmania. No, it's not a Bogues, it's not your local beer, but it's one from Melbourne, and it's a pear cider actually. It's all I've got at the minute. But anyway, Tasmania, cheers. What an awesome place to do my closing. Kangaroos in the background. Big open expanse of land. Mountain ranges in the background. These clouds here, just before, had a little bit of colour in it. They were just opening up a little bit to the show the sky. And there's this nice runs, so it was a nice photograph. I didn't have anything except for the kangaroos to draw your eye in a bit, but a nice mountain range at the back there, so it's just a classic sort of half snapshot, half good shot, I guess. Got a couple of males fighting in the background here. Oh, what an awesome place. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's stunning. Yes, that's right. I can hear Thomas Heaton. He'll be turning in his chair. They're my words, you can't use them. They're for my channel. Stop it. Stop using them. Alright, so we won't. So what we're going to close up with, Tasmania. Bloody awesome, mate. Bloody awesome of what I've been able to see and walk. Alright, if you'd like to subscribe, click on the subscription button down below and you'll get notification whenever I do anything else. And if you'd like to go and have a look at my channel, click on the icon down below. Take you to my channel. There's over, I don't know, 50 different videos there, all different types of things. Teaching a little bit of photography, talking about accessories, reviewing clothing. I've done it all. But anyway, catch you later, and just remember, if you don't do, you don't get. So get out there and start photographing and filming wildlife. I'm going to watch the kangaroos for a while and I'll keep walking. See ya.